Alright, I don't have a fancy pun for you yet. However, I know who does, because I know Tempest is ready for Kirby's Dream Land 2, and... Well, we're gonna see. I'm sure Tempest has good thoughts for this, so... Let's run it through. Let's take, Tempest, take it away.
All right, hello, friends and fellow gamers. Yeah, this is me again. My name is TempestMask1000. Some of you know me as Steve, and well, there's a first for everything. In this case, 2 games for Speedromizer. This is kind of serendipitous, though, because if you have seen my speedrun.com page, you might know that I actually am a runner of the original Kirby's Dream Land. So, to my surprise, I learned that I got the second game from Soul, of all people, and here we are now today with me presenting to you what was originally scheduled for Friday, but now we've made it work here on a nice, good Sunday evening, and I find it extra funny that as a result of the flip-flop, Soul is not only my commentator, but also my host, so this ought to be fun. But yeah, Soul, if you'd like to quickly reintroduce yourself to our viewers.
Yeah, so, hi, I'm Soul, and I'm not only your host, I am currently your commentator for this run, and... The goal of Kirby's Dream Land 2 is...
Stealing my thunder here, eh? No, that's perfectly fine. I never said it was my own anyway. In fact, I never asked for this. In fact, I heard that we still use that meme as the audio balancing test. What the heck, DJ? You never said anything to me about that. Alright, now let's get this thing going though, shall we? Yeah, this is going to be an interesting time. You're just going to move the window right here for my viewing and my eyes and all that jazz. I'm going to actually erase file number 1 because I'm going to be doing a couple of soft resets throughout the entirety of the run, particularly when I beat the bosses, and the reason for that we'll cover as we go through the run, but for now, yeah, time will begin once I have selected that file. Ah, heck. Soul, would you like to give me my countdown?
Yeah, of course. In that case, 3, 2, 1, go.
Boyo time. And with that, we have entered Grassland. So, yeah, for those that are unaware, the objective of Kirby's Dream Land 2 is you're playing as this lovely pink puffball who has the ability to not only inhale enemies, but also completely and utterly eviscerate them in his stomach. I'm sorry, what? No, but for real, everyone loves to joke about how, despite being one of the most wholesome Nintendo platforming franchises in existence, we also just seem to poke at the fact that he's doing some nasty damage to enemies all over his games and then some, eh?
It's okay. Like we have such great entries like Forgotten Land where we have like actual horror stuff near the end of the run.
Yeah, pretty much. Oop, that was a little bit of a mistake input right there, but that's fine. So the goal mini games, we have those like how it normally goes with most Kirby mini games. I'm sorry, most Kirby video games. So yeah, the whole point is that I want to fail the goal mini games. However, I actually will be attempting some of them if the circumstances suit the needs, because you can get health from this game. You can get the 2 HP recovering soda bottles. You can get the maximum tomatoes for your full health recoveries here. And if I need an extra life, I guess I'll do that too. Really, I'm just gonna... Okay, never mind. I can just do that. Yeah. I was talking that I totally forgot about the little trick that I could have done to defeat that mini-boss much faster. Also, hi, Rick and bye, Rick. Let's talk a little bit about the copy abilities from Kirby's Dream Land 2, because this is what makes this one a little bit different from the first title, which actually had absolutely none. So, Kirby's Dream Land 1 never was all about the copy abilities, whereas Kirby's Adventure for the NES was. And Dream Land 2 obviously wanted to carry that over, but they also introduced Kirby's little buddies here, which we have Rick the Hamster, Coo the Owl, and Kind the Fish. And how they all work is that while there are a smaller amount of overall power-ups for Kirby, the name of the game is... Well, that Poppy Bros Jr. was very rude.
Yeah, welcome to slopes. Slopes, fire does not like slopes.
Yeah, it's reminding me that I gotta keep jumping now, don't I? But this is the perfect time to at least grab that health that they very generously leave for me in this level.
And apart from that, if you put in donations, we still have an ongoing incentive for Tempest funds. We currently have 10 of those right now.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes.
I wasn't even keeping track of them. Well then, tickle me pink, why don't you, eh?
So there's one.
It had to come somewhere, I guess. Let's actually talk a little bit about the specialty behind the graphics we got going for you. I am actually running this on BGB, which is a community-approved emulator for the Game Boy, but it also has Super Game Boy color palette support, which means that this game does have the Super Game Boy systematic sorry. I meant to say enhancements, that's the word. I'm actually going to focus for Wispy Woods here.
Yeah, Wispy is an interesting one, where, for some reason, he's got a mask on, and then we do that, so I feel like we're a little bit rude.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I get the feeling like the mask was just to try and shield himself from, like,
oh, you need to reset
attacks.
If you want.
Oh, right, that's right. I was talking, mind over matter, eh?
To be fair, that is also a way to get a health refill if you really need it, or you do get one if you let the whole thing play out.
Exactamundo. And now we're going into Big Forest level 2 here. But, yeah, bosses are going to be pretty much, they don't take a lot of health, take a lot of damage from the copy abilities. Really, the way it works is that stars tend to do more damage, or rather, spit stars, or whatever you want to call them, and especially the double stars, if we can manage those, so sometimes I'll be sacrificing a power-up in order to get those, just as I did when the fight began. But aside from that, we're also going to get one of our best buddies that the game has to offer. This is Ku, and get used to hearing this theme through a lot of the levels for a good long while, because Ku is very, very omnidirectional, meaning we can fly in all 8 directions, and in doing so, we have some very flappy bird platforming. That just literally came out of my mind right here. I got the feeling like this is a result of me just having taken a swim over at a friend's pool, and now my brain is just acting all soggy for some reason.
Don't worry about it. I mean, you have the option for swimming very soon.
That's very true. But yeah, Ku is definitely the best for just saying no to platforming, which is ironic. But we are also going to have a few times where we won't necessarily use him. In fact, there will be occasions where I'll still want to use Burning, and also Pine in a particular instance. So, yeah, unfortunately Rick is not speed optimal for the run, which I personally think to be a shame, but yeah, it's just how it goes, really.
The chat is wondering if that is another pun.
We'll count that for the sake of the donation incentive. I mean, hey, if people want to see me say even more puns, I mean, this is literally the run to do it. So even if we max out on that overall goal, I'll have personal room for, like, extra puns, just to, like, encourage y'all to keep raising money for community. Because, like, you'll love to see it.
Yeah, keep in mind, every $5 gives you another pun.
Exactly. And that was the intent this time around. I just was like, you know what? Last time with Subnautica, it was a bit experimental. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, hi, Gooey. I just wanted to show that little cameo appearance right there. For those who don't know, Gooey, that's a character that's a little more prevalent in Dreamland 3 for the Super Nintendo. This is actually the last of the main Kirby games for the Game Boy. Not sure if I said that in my little introduction here, but yeah, Gooey actually becomes your Player 2 character in Dreamland 3, and is a very interesting fella at that, which might seem a bit unsuspecting at first, because all he really does is provide you either a potential 1-up or health refill if you collect him from those partner bags, and yet you already have a partner going like we did with Ku. So, I'm also trying to remember the name of the other one though, the one with the bow. Do you remember?
In Trillium 3, she goes by Choo Choo. We tend to just call her Gooey Girl in Disdain. That's the one that gives you a 1-up, and it also counts for percentage if you're trying to go for 100%.
Ah, gotcha. So here we have our second boss, and this one is a bit similar to Lololo and Lalala, except it involves boars, and also this is where we start to abide by the principle that Cutter Kirby with Ku is a damaged beast for these bosses. And the reason for that being you're hitting bosses with multiple projectiles at once, so positioning yourself is major from here on out. Of course, I'm just trying to play it safe, because one thing I haven't mentioned yet about partner health is that if you do run out of health, the partner does get lost. But if you if it just so happens that way, you don't lose a life as Kirby. So, but we still want to be very mindful of that, because trying to find these partners is not necessarily a easy resource until World 5, which we'll talk about that when we get there. For now, I think I'll just let Soul go ahead and commentate for me, and if you'd also like to read some stuff as well, go ahead.
Yeah, right now we are still waiting to see if we get any more puns beyond our current ones, but at the moment, there are several things you're going to be seeing, like, apart from what was already mentioned with Ku flying around like this, Ku just kind of swim okay, as you can see now. But Kind is definitely our best one for that. I don't know what Scratch Tempest is going to be doing this run yet. That's a little unfortunate, but you could go to Cutter back, that's not a big deal.
I really wanted that soda pop bottle, but that thing just fell way too fast for me. That's always a bit of a tricky one, to be fair, because, like, it expects you to go the moment that block dies, and, unfortunate. Alright, I'll try to be a little bit careful here, but hopefully soon enough.
We're saying you knit tying and go for that strat instead.
That's fair. I think I'm not the most practiced with it, admittedly. I think I have practiced it with the presumption that I have gotten most of the levels with Ku intact. But yeah, if you want to, like, help give a bit of a nudge partway through, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, you'll have, in that case, in this stage, what you'll want to do is there's a little extra area where you'll fight a, what is called a Master Spark. It's basically just a giant, I think it's called Master Green, actually. Fun fact, it was that door right there, actually. But that is fun as well.
No, it's fine. I think I can go there. I can make a little bit of time for that. Yeah, this
so
guy...
That's Master Green. As you know, as you see, it's not green.
Yeah, to be fair, we're not playing on the actual Game Boy color interface, but rather we're doing the Super Game Boy, which, despite the overall solid color input that it has going, it doesn't change the fact that, you know, Super Game Boy enhancements usually differ depending on the room that you're in. That's how most games did it back in the day. In comparison to that, if you're playing on a Game Boy Color, things might look a little bit more befitting of the situation, per se. Like, I actually did do a little bit of Game Boy Color interface on the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console app for Game Boy, and yeah, no, Kirby's definitely the right colors, that's for sure.
Yeah, Game Boy Color, the way he does, like, a default palette's a little bit unique. But yeah, the only downfall, Kind, unfortunately, very much moves like a fish out of water. Very literally.
We'll count that as a pun anyway. Because I did allow my host to chip in on the puns as well during Subnautica, so I think it's only fair. Shout out to the Tara Stark, by the way.
Yeah, she would, some stuff came up, so we had, some hosts, so hosting kind of got a little bit twisted around as a result, but shout outs to her. Hopefully she gets to feeling better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you pretty much already have, like, the right idea, where pretty much you're gonna use the light bulb to just... Basically, it's a lot safer, because the light bulb just kind of sits out in front, you can just kind of move around, no problem, nothing in front of you can really be a threat. And I guess the bosses has some uses because it's actually like a very safe way to fight. Especially compared to Cutter, where Cutter, like any other ability used underwater when you're not using time, is very heavily reduced in one way or another. So for 2, that means Cutter has like no range.
Oh man, those frogs always get me very, very scared.
Slippy is terrible.
Slippy.
That is their official name. They are called Slippy.
Oh, that's unfortunate then.
And yes, if I had a nickel for each time a frog in a Nintendo series ended up being kind of annoying, I'd have 2 nickels.
Dang it! Just barely got that. Okay, that was a clutch one right there, because whenever you lose power-ups underwater, typically they don't last long at all.
Tiny is the exception because you can actually inhale underwater.
Yes, it is easy to forget that just by a smidge. Alright, so here we have the anglerfish boss now, and yeah, normally if I had done things just right, it would have been all about trying to get it with Cutter Coup, but yeah, here we got the lightning bulb, or light bulb. Lightning bulb? Hello. My lightning English bulb is very, very bad today.
That's fine, that means there's probably even better chance for puns.
You know what? I really am a fish out of water today. No,
you're not done double credit for that.
No. It would be too easy.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the brightest idea.
Okay, I appreciate that one at least. And yeah, you did notice something very interesting there. You saw that I can push the starfish into the anglerfish boss, and I forgot to do the soft reset, but that's okay. I probably should have just let the cutscene play out by the time I got on the warp star. But either way, you saw that I pushed the starfish into the anglerfish boss, which did do some extra damage, and that accounts for how Kirby Kirby can't inhale in water. So it's with that where you do have to account for...
Oh yeah, you can actually get rid of time here if you want.
That's fair. I just figured, a little encore of his music.
I mean, that's fair, but he comes up again, like, next stage, so...
Yeah. I think I can just go for burning at this rate, right? Yeah, let's go for that.
But yeah, it also makes this stage a little bit safer, because you see these propeller enemies, if Kirby has an animal friend, they will go after you, and if they touch you, that is instant death for the animal.
That's right. Those enemies are very peculiar, because they do very much remind me of the bomb power-up enemies from later entries, but they're also not exactly that. In fact, they're kind of like the Scarfies, except in a reverse way, because, as Sol just mentioned, they specifically focus on if you have your animal friend. Oh, come on. That's a very rude Sir Kibble right there. We should briefly talk about the different basic power-ups, just for those curious. So we have Cutter Kirby, we've got Burning Kirby, Ice Kirby, Plasma Kirby, Stone Kirby, and Parasol Kirby. And those are the 6 ones. Yeah, it's only 6 in this game, surprisingly. Now, the funny thing about mini-bosses is that you actually can just touch them, and they'll just go away easy peasy. Like, they don't even damage you for that, which is funny. I was considering, by the way, whether I wanted to keep Cutter or just use Stone, because one nice thing about Stone, at least in most Kirby games, is that, you can roll down slopes with Stone, so...
It was no exception here.
Not at all. But, I just figured, just hold on to this now, just in case. And then we'll launch for some full health, because I'd rather not take a death. And the fun thing about the goal game is that, unlike other Kirby games, we do see a varying length of the victory dance theme, which is why most often, whenever I'm ignoring the goal game, you're just going to hear it go, BEP!
Yeah, which is also a safe way of doing that. If you just hold A during it, you will always just immediately jump on the cloud first frame, and then you'll just go to the bottom cloud.
Yeah, so unfortunately, because we don't quite have Coup already, we do have to take our animal buddy here, because that wind makes it very, very annoying to deal with. And so, we're just going to take care of this Parasol mini-boss, which is, by the way, very much based on the famous yokai. if anyone's familiar with like yokai lore, the whole thing about a evil spirit possessing a parasol and throwing sandals, that's very much in line with the Japanese culture. So, very nice reference right there.
Yeah, we also have colorful nicknames for that thing, I'll say. The actual name for it is Jumper Shoot, because, well, it jumps and it shoots. It's aptly named.
That sounds like Mega Man, which is another thing I actually speedrun, so I think I can appreciate that. Alright. Yeah, we did get Ku back, so that's especially good, because now we have our main ability back, or our preferred combination anyway. And so we can just go down
although
here.
Unfortunately, this is also the stage that will make you have to switch to fire.
Right. So, let's go in there right now, and take our... Are you joking me, game?
We love the way the ability mechanics work in this game. Actually, most games. Most games, if you somehow inhale, like, an enemy and a star, the game will always favor your ability. Except for Superstar. That's the exception. That one prioritizes enemy.
Right. Something I've been curious about, because I actually never got it during my casual playthrough. Can you mix in this game or no?
No. There is no mix.
That's what I figured. Because it almost seems utterly impossible to just do that in the first place. And I could swear to you, I have attempted that several times during that casual playthrough. Like, I usually have a habit of recording my first ever playthroughs of games that I've always wanted to try. And, yeah, this was no exception, but... Hey, I know this guy.
This thing favors whatever comes in first.
So yeah, here we have Mr. Frosty. He's back and, well, pretty much the same as ever. But we're going to do something a bit different this time. We're actually going to take Kine. This is where I was originally going to have Kine in tow, had I not lost Ku earlier. So we got Ice Kine, and this is actually one of the only times that I really need to use Ice Kirby. So it's just pretty effective because, as you're noticing, it's like Freeze Kirby from Adventure, where you really just think Spark Kirby, but it has the freezing ability. That's really the best way to describe it. And yeah, now you're noticing this enemy activating.
Yeah. Which luckily we also have an immediate counter to those, because if they can be frozen, and that means they do nothing.
Just like that.
Oh, don't worry. This little bit's really scary for everyone.
Ooh, I forgot that Kine is supposed to get the fire ability here. Let me try that again. It's gonna be a bit dicey. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk it. Just worst case, you know about the 4-1. You get fire there, or you can just fight it normally. Either way, kind of worse than this one.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it's true. I mean, fighting it normally is basically what I'll do, yeah. Because luckily, this boss is very easy to get double stars. It actually creates those, depending on if you're able to position it just right. Also, hi, Gooey. Bye, Gooey.
Nice luck on that one.
Yeah, very, very good luck. So, oh, jeez. Oh, no. Lots of gamer noises in this case, and that'll especially be the case in World 7, so... Oh, man.
Dark Castle might be loved.
I think I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of serious time. If you'd like to read any announcements or whatever, this would probably be the best. Yeah,
I'm also just gonna add, this is a very...
Come on, game! Really?
That's a very Subnautica moment there.
I would have to agree.
The island was, in fact, trying to kill you.
We'll just roll with it. It's all I'm really worried about right now is just getting through the stages, and once you get through them for the first time, you have the exit feature in the pause menu. That's really all there is. I've been saying that's all there is a lot this entire run, more than ever. It's one of my common phrases whenever I do commentary, but like, I don't want it to become just as bad as me saying which there's nothing wrong with saying it. I'm just saying.
Understandable. Anyways, we do have $5 from Haxum, say a +1 punch to the counter, which did in fact add +1 punch to the counter. So we're now at 11, and we're close to 12.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and slice things up a little bit, because we had a few Sir Kibbles right behind us. I give that a 5 out of 10. I give that a 5 out of 10.
That was also number 5 out of 11.
Wow, coincidence. Alright. Yeah, so... Oh, gosh. I'm actually...
easiest way to do this would probably be 4-1 get fire, 4-2 get, 4-3 get time.
Or 3 get... 4-1 fire, yeah. Yeah, I had to really think about that for a moment, because I have not been pushed into that situation yet. So that was kind of a first for me. I can't say that's never happened before, because, well, I really... Those usually require a bit of a specific rule set. Besides, I'm pretty sure I at least got my one in during this entire event, whether it was for Disruptor or Sega Sonic, so...
I think I remember seeing it for Sega Sonic.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that. Alright, so, yeah, we got Mr. Frosty again.
Yeah,
Time to give this guy...
Yeah, you just won't want to drop fire this, burning this time.
Not at all. We gotta give him a cold shoulder, though.
I don't know, things look pretty heated there.
I suppose he was hot and cold, and then he said yes and then no. But was he in or out? Or up or down?
I'm just gonna count that whole sequence as 2 puns.
Yeah, go ahead. It's been a while since I've been able to pull off a song-related pun. Oh, clutch.
Yeah, luckily you were able to still get it back as long as you did it like quick.
Yeah. Alright, there we go. That was the Ice Dragon. That's considered one of the tougher bosses of the game by some who play it. Something of a difficulty spike in some cases. Ah, this level, I actually always did appreciate the song. It's a bit of a Kirby classic, but now we actually gotta put the mute button on that for just a second and get to hear the extra-based world theme, because, well, the game resets its currently playing song whenever you get rid of your buddy here, and we don't need Kine anymore, so... yeah, we get to hear the nice use of that funky GB chiptune bass, which I love it when a game gets that going real nice and crunchy. It's just very pleasing to my music-loving ears. One little trick that I didn't mention at the beginning of the run that we could go ahead and talk about now is there's a very interesting use of knockback whenever you bump into a wall as Burning Kirby, and I can transfer that vertical momentum into my floating, so it's something that you're seeing me use here as well. Oh, you're joking me. I thought I could have escaped that, oh no! Oh, you're... And this is why I hate Gordos.
Gordos have been a thorn in everybody's side since time immemorial.
Yes. Despite that being a pun, I fully agree with that sentiment right there. For those who are unaware of the Kirby games, they are invincible all the time. And it is never fun, because, you know, Steve, as a kid, used to think that maybe there was some kind of power-up you could have gotten from them, but I was so naive. It's actually the first level.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better, because this was not my first one. My first one was Adventure, and I think I might have even had Superstar before I had this one. So I was used to, like, abilities and stuff like Sword, and be like, and seeing that was like, oh, I'll better get Sword in this, and then they did you nothing. Well, actually, you can't even inhale them.
And by the way, that was our first instance of meeting one of Meta Knight's cronies, which, was a very interesting appearance of, considering that, and this is a sad little spoiler alert, but all things considered, it's not the worst to be heard. Yeah, Meta Knight's nowhere to be found in this game, despite the fact that those lackeys of his, they're there, and, yeah, ooh, Yeah, okay, I was going to say,
Yeah,
I was
honestly,
going to
that might
be
be for the
careful.
best.
It might be for the best. I was going to be careful, but nah, you know, we could spare the death. Oh, I wanted him to fire too. I got a little greedy there. There we go. Ah, you're joking me. This stinks. All right, we got it. Boom. Yeah, double stars do a lot of damage to mini bosses.
Kirby in a nutshell. Very easy if you're just playing these casually, very cozy, very chill. If you're trying to speedrun them, they very quickly become the opposite.
Yeah.
Like they're still cozy and chill, except now you're trying to do it fast, and then you have stuff like this. You have auto scrollers. This is one of a few in this run. And this is probably one of the scariest, since if you mess up at any point, you have to redo the whole thing, and you don't want to have to do that if you don't have to.
Yeah, it's one of those tropes in gaming that most people don't really like to see, especially when you consider that in this particular game, auto-scrollers do not stop for you. Even when you get to the end of the door, or the end section, the end of the... Basically, if I wait for the camera to keep scrolling, it will, and it will eventually kill me. So, I'd say that's one of the cruelest things that auto-scrollers have to offer here.
Shoutouts to losing a run because you messed up on the blocks at the end of the room, and it's the auto-scroller, so gotta do everything over.
So welcome to every Dreamland 2 runner's best resource. We now have Ku. Sorry, I almost said Kine, and I almost tried to press exit, even though it would not have worked.
We have Kine at home, and for some reason Kine has wings.
Right. This ain't no Flappy Bird affair. I think we're talking deep sea, deep fried. Get me a salmon on a nice gold platter, and you've got yourself a 3-star course meal with added side effect of some hammer smashed mallets. I thought I had a thing going, okay? I had to try at least.
He has certainly tried.
I have to experiment just a little bit, because, see, the difference between this and Subnautica is I don't have the time to actually look at notes that I could have written for myself. This one does require you to be a bit more hands-on, unlike Subnautica was, so... No expenses could be spared here.
Yeah, there was not a lot of downtime in this run at all, aside from, like, oh, I died, you know, go to this stage, get the animal buddy back. That's about it. That's the most downtime you get.
Yeah. We got a bunch of Brontoberts here, and they are just... Yeah, they can be a particularly pesky enemy! Whoa, no!
If you want, you can actually soft reset and just start the stage over.
I'll think about that, but...
You'll actually get back everything.
Yeah, you know what, might as well. I was considering that, considering this mini-boss isn't too bad, but, like, at the same time, you know, it's not like I have stone... It's not like that instance where I'm gonna try and fight it as Stone Kirby yet, but I think you make a very valid point of the soft reset right there.
Yeah, thankfully the way this game works for saves is it'll save after every stage or after every death. So, if Kirby dies, the game will actually save on you, and you'll lose everything. If you're in a stage and you've managed to do it before the game finishes, the whole death tune, you're fine. Okay, it's fine. You're safe.
But I do lack the cutter power, and I was not supposed to fire at that direction. I swear, this enemy is just... I'll be... You know what? Let's talk. This is probably my least of the favorite of the mini bosses because...
don't worry. It is everybody's least favorite mid boss. Nobody I know likes Captain Stitch.
Oh, that's his name?
That is actually its name. As you can imagine, there is also colorful nicknames for this one.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I guess I just forgot to properly watch the credits and remind myself who's who. I tend to be pretty good at the basic ones, but aside from that, you know, it's touch and go. Alright, so that's Rick. There are some instances where the game will give you a completely different power-up, or sorry, partner, if you've beaten a mini-boss, and,
You will probably want fire here, by the way.
Oh, true. Oh, well, that guy just wanted to explode. Okay. Alright.
It's alright, yeah, it's alright. They just burned out.
Yeah, it's better to burn out than fade away. If anybody knows that song reference, good for you. If not, then, look up Def Leppard Rock of Ages. There's a reason why it became the namesake of a musical. But, yeah, that was unfortunate. You know, taking a hit underwater. I don't have Kind, so I can't really, reacquire it like that. There was not really much I could do. Despite the fact that this game is pretty simple, all things considered, there are, as Soul alluded to, some rather tricky things about it overall, so... I will say, though, this has been a very fun speedrun to learn, and I can definitely see myself trying it some more, because I just want to see how good I can get with it. And I can also very much appreciate Dreamland 2 on the whole.
Yeah, my only advice is maybe not with Dreamland 3, but only because the mashing is way heavier in that game.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think I can handle me a good mash. We'll have to see how it all folds together once I actually do it, so... So this is fine, actually, because, you know, most runs usually get rid of Q at this point, so that was actually perfectly fine to do, considering that Kirby was back at full health, and yeah, it gave me a bit of an extra buffer, a bit of an extra hit right there.
Plus, you can easily go back and get him at any point now.
That was a very interesting case of a triple star. Okay, I'll say it, that's never happened before. Of course, it's the same as a double star in this game. There's really no difference between one or the other, unlike the modern Kirby games, but it was a very interesting thing to suddenly happen by pure chance. And it is also, yet again, a shame that mixes do not exist in this game, but, you know what, why would they? Because, you know, as we already said, there's only 6 base power-ups, and with the inclusion of our 3 animal friends, that makes for a total of 24 combinations, which, you know, it's funny how the animal powers precede the whole fusion abilities that Kirby 64 was known for. Of course, something I can appreciate. And yeah, we're just falling down here.
We will not be commenting on that room.
Fair enough. Alright, boss time. Alrighty, I don't have... Oh, wait.
You right, I should... Soft reset, so you're safe.
Yeah, how many folks know a thing or two about Moon Crew and Sun Gang? For those who aren't aware of the lore, Kirby's Adventure, or Nightmare in Dreamland, yeah, Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright.
I would know. Shout outs to Mr. Shasta for having the shorts at one point for it too.
Yeah, love Shasta. Alright, here we go. So Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright are actually a big buff in this. They get a bit of a big buff in this game. They actually have a fusion attack, which if they combine together, I'll have to get to a certain point of the screen, which we're actually going to be seeing right here. And boom. So yeah, there will be a bit of flashing in this particular section. If it does get a little uncomfortable, I encourage you to look away. But aside from that, we've got ourselves Cutter Power with Q, and we're going to try and take these guys down pretty quickly. I would say that Mr. Bright has it where getting a double star is a lot easier, because in case you haven't noticed, the whole spiel behind the two dropping those things... okay,
that's
well, that's not the worst thing, because, again...
That's right, you need to cut her back anyways, because the moon will have to drop it.
Let's see here. Just waiting for it. Alright. Got him. Nice, nice.
Good recovery.
I'd say the difference between this and their original outing is as easy as day and night.
What did the Disco board bid for? Bid war for? So you just say yes or no to Disco. Hope that helps.
Yeah, we do have a yes or no to Disco bid war coming up pretty soon. So yeah, welcome to Cloud World, World 6. This one has a particularly tough boss that I would dare say is what makes the Ice Dragon in World 4 a lot more of a softie in comparison. But again, that's just one of the interesting things about Dreamland 2 is that all the bosses really they have some pretty competent attacks, which is something I'd very much applaud, because more often than not, I think people just tend to write off boss behavior in Kirby games. Aside from RNG, of course.
Honestly, it depends a lot on the boss. It depends a lot on the game, even.
What would you say has, like, the most difficult bosses of them all?
This one legitimately comes, close.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Like this one is like
the
bane. It's like the bane of anyone who's like learning this game, because it's one of the only fights. It's the only fight in the game that's actually got two phases if you're not going for best ending. Otherwise, it's the first of two fights that'll be that way. And honestly, both of them are really scary for different reasons. This one, because it's just Tractor is just a radically moving fight during the second phase. And if you're slow in the first phase, he'll actually go into cloud form and be kind of a pain that way. Best endings fight with Dark Matter at the very end is also really tough because the second phase has a time limit.
Yeah, not unlike Kirby's Adventure with Nightmare Phase 1.
Yeah, it's the same deal. Like, you're actually actively fallen, so you have to defeat it before you finally finish fallen.
I think this is where I want to start using ice, so...
It is.
Yeah. I did lie earlier, we do get to use ice again, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It is a really cool fight, but it is a tough fight until you know, like, how to, like, handle it. Before you're after, you do get a really cool ending cutscene, especially if you're playing this on Super Game Boy.
I'm actually interested to see what that's like, too, because I have not spoiled myself to that yet. I've only done my casual playthrough to, like, the any %. So, yeah, that should be interesting to see for the first time.
Yeah, definitely encourage it. It's really good.
Ooh.
The best way to describe it is the color mapping is done up to make it look very much like it came more out of the NES game than a Game Boy game.
Nice. Yeah, shoutouts to the Super Game Boy in general, it's just a really nice thing. And I can say that as somebody who also runs another game, Castlevania Legends, which does have Super Game Boy support, and I would tell anybody that, you know, color palette support is typically one of the finer ways to play handheld games like these, but I'm also a sucker for the color green. It was always one of my favorite colors, and that's what most people remember the original Game Boy for, so there's really no, like, official bias coming for me as to which is better. It's a matter of preference, but even then, when I first learned of the Super Game Boy, I was like, that's actually really cool. I wish I knew about that sooner.
Yeah, I've actually got, like, the Japan-only one, the second one.
Yeah, the Super Game Boy 2.
Ooh. That one's been nice for the stuff I have that can actually work with it.
So let's talk about this room a little bit. This is,
This room is mean.
Very mean.
Especially if you're not careful. Oh, let me double check something. Yeah, we just got $50 from Peaches saying, let's make this bit more competitive. Thanks for having me on Speedromizer. I had a great time learning and seeing everyone else's runs. And because of that, saying no to Distro is very slightly in the lead now.
Holy moly, that's a big donation. Thank you, Peaches. Alright, so actually, this is going to be our special instance of getting Stone Kirby. And the reason for this being, this is a very vertical section, so trying to fall down as fast as possible is very encouraged here. Now you're noticing those crumbling blocks? It's a little bit crucial that, you know, if you want the fastest time with levels that use that sort of gimmick, you want to stay on one particular one. That way Kirby will just fall straight down, like so, which, that was almost flawless. But now we're coming into the level that, you know, you gotta really account for using stone in a bit of a different way that, let's just say, is not the easiest. You'll see what I mean in just a moment, because we're gonna be coming up to another instance of a Captain Stitch fight.
Yeah, this game also kind of has, like, the best way to strike damage output, and Dreamland 3 does it as well. And it's pretty much, the harder or more awkward it is to use an ability, the more damage it tends to do in general. So that means stone is usually one of the most powerful as a result. But it's also one of the hardest to use, because you basically have to be, near touching the boss to actually hit him.
Alright,
so
here
you're gonna
we
see, like, perfect position for that.
That's incredible. That doesn't usually happen on the first go-around. For me, anyway, during my practice. And that second one, that was flawless? That's never happened before.
Oh, you're not kind. You could drop kind if you want. You can get stone in this room.
We'll keep him around for just a little bit. I want to hear his song.
Fair enough.
I'd rather keep Stone Kirby, though. Oh, man, that wouldn't have been comfortable. Yeah, like I said, auto-scrollers will not stop for you even at the ending door, so that could have killed me if I hesitated just a bit longer. Oh, this is where I gotta drop Kind, yeah. Nope, wait. Oh man, that didn't quite go as planned.
I'll be honest, I actually thought Kind's stone would actually break those still.
Yeah, you know what?
I actually thought that would have worked.
We are experimenting here at Speedromizer. You saw it firsthand, folks.
But, like, I know the run, and I thought that would work, and no, I'm wrong. The game just told me that doesn't work that way.
It says my friend LOZ Cards Fan 23 says the game knows.
By the way, I regret to inform you that we have gone back to saying yes to disco from a $4.99 donation from George, saying sorry was 1 cent short. And if you're wondering, yes, currently is at $89.99.
I'm gonna play this room a little dangerously. Let's see if I can clutch this out on an HP, even though I'm pretty sure that would be, like, everything against what you'd want me to do right now. But if I do manage to pull it off, I'll donate $5.
Yeah, this is actually the stage where normally, if you don't have food back, you would get them for this room. Surprisingly enough, with like a few damage boosts, it's actually kind of safe, especially with Spark, because he does like this little lightning bolt, and you can he actually has like a really generous hitbox.
Almost there, not quite yet, and it's just a little bit longer, and I gotta really be careful, because it just feels so easy to get hit in this game, at least in my opinion. It just does.
Oh no, it definitely can be.
Oh boy. Am I gonna want Cutter coming up though?
You will probably want Cutter.
Alright, let's get that Sir Kibble back. Alright. And... Booyah! Oh wait, but I'm still at 1 HP. But hey, at least I get to owe the charity $5 now, so you know what? It's not the worst trade-off.
Now here's the real question. Are you going to be saying yes or no to disco?
Oof, now you're putting me on the spot. I mean, I like all sorts of music, and there can be some pretty good disco, like Disco Inferno, so...
I mean, I ain't gonna bring it up. There's also, like, a game that I've tried recently called Deadest Disco, and, that game is actually very good.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, so we do have the, Yeah, I knew that one. But, yeah, no, that was pretty simple. You had 5 doors to choose from. You can try your hand at whichever ones, but yeah, that one also gives you health no matter what, so...
Oh yeah, by the way, that does actually put us at 12 points now.
Ha! True. Well, now you're making me jelly for not getting to donate for my own run. I had to cringe just a little bit at that one, actually. Let's talk about the boss arena, by the way, because you're seeing this here, folks. You're noticing that, yeah, there's a tailwind going on here, which is not particularly fun.
You can't leave.
You're joking me.
No, I'm not.
Oh, no.
That block only breaks with spark.
I set myself up. I'm making some very questionable decisions that I wasn't in practice mode. That's just marathon luck for you, though, sometimes, really. Or rather, marathon
Welcome to
mindset,
Speedromizer, where even the strats are randomized.
Oh, wait, no, dang it, I thought I had enough invincibility to handle that, and that's a game over. Alright, let's try that again. How are we looking on time, though, out of curiosity?
We are currently at 48 minutes.
Okay, so I do want to try and speed it up just a little bit, so going into Krakow, I will make sure that I get Cutter, and I'll also grab Ku to ensure that we at least have the means to try and fast kill the boss. That said, what would be your recommendation for grabbing the fastest Cutter that I could find at this point?
At this point... trying to think offhand. Probably, 6-1.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
So you would go fight 3, you would go fight 3 or 6-1, whichever one you want to do first, and do the other.
Yeah, probably just, like, get 5-3 out of the way. Alright, let's see if I can avoid dying this time. Yeah, you do have to do an extra lap in order to get past that crumble block. So, not much I can really do about that. That's a bit more like it. A little demonstration for your viewing pleasure of the slope fall. I'm gonna get that bottle. Once I let that thing, once I destroy that thing right there. I'm such a hazard when it comes to just running into things. I swear. So yeah, welcome to the underwater maze, by the way. That was absolutely the incorrect direction. Yeah, the problem is when you're trying to memorize this game, there's only so much that my brain can handle at once in terms of information. So I was mainly trying to cloak up or clock up on the overall damage effective strats. I should have known that was the wrong one though, because process of deduction for the level design. Whoops. Alright, just gonna try and avoid the death at this rate. It's a top path, right?
It is.
Okay. Oh, whoa! That was very close with that Slippy. It must have been like a pixel away from dying. Actually, maybe I should have known that the frog was called Slippy, because don't they appear in, like, Amazing Mirror?
They appear in a bunch of the games. I think Amazing Mirror's one of the few they don't.
Gotcha. Please don't let there be an enemy in the center, thank you. Oh, this is gonna be tricky, though. I gotta get that Maxim tomato. There we go, nice. Yeah, I was at least able to cheese it. Thank goodness the middle was the safe zone. Alright, so we're gonna go back to 5-3 first and pick up Ku. And then we're gonna get Cutter Kirby ASAP. I got not much else to say at the moment. So let's go ahead and read some announcements or any donations that we have in.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
We still have a little bit of time for puns. We currently have 12 out of 15. So if you'd like to get in for that, you can type exclamation donate in chat or go to speedromizer.live/donate. That'll take you to Tiltify, and while you're there, you can also say yes or no to Disco if you'd like. It's a very close race right now. Yes is in the very barely in the lead by only like a couple of dollars. So I mean, it can really go either way at the very end. That will be staying live through the remainder of the event, so we will see what's gonna end up happening. Will we say no to Disco like DJ has very explicitly decided long ago, or will he be forced to say yes? Will really be forced to say yes alongside public opinion?
Here we go. It's Kracko time. So we're going to start with Kracko Jr., which is a very interesting first phase. You're noticing that it doesn't just pop out straight up, but rather it has this, like, I want to call it amoeba effect, or amoeba form, whenever it hides in the ground. And yeah, then it just pops out like that, so gotta be very careful right here, because I don't want to lose.
Yeah, this is where it gets scary. But you do have, like, so far I've been counting though, we're only at 11 out of 12 puns right now, so if you have any fun puns for Kracko,
I mean, I never want to run into this guy on a stormy day.
I'll take it.
The forecast here calls for an absolute downpour of suffering and many other unpleasantries that gamers should never have to experience when fighting this boss.
To be fair, it's pretty much mutual. The lore for Kracko is that it hates Kirby so much that it keeps coming back because of it.
Yeah, that checks.
Like, for anyone that's familiar with, I think, oh jeez, I'm trying to remember the exact references from. I think it's from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Oh.
The hate rant.
I remember that. Yeah, I've never played the game, but it's
there's a chatter of mine who has made a version of that with molecules instead of, I think it's chips or whatever.
Oh, chips. So then where's the guac? I'll leave that open.
Good question.
Alright, Dark Castle. This is the world with the most levels in total, so we have 7 stages before we get to DDD. But the interesting thing about this is that the level designs within the first 6 stages are very, very similar to one another. So you're going to be seeing a lot of blurred lines here, a lot of very appropriate deja vu moments, I guess you could say. The big kicker here is that I want to be especially careful of the auto-scrollers. Like this one, yep. Whoa, jeez. Look, I don't know what to tell you, Soul. I really have nothing, to say for myself except I'm very disappointed that I forgot that's supposed to be the first vertical.
Don't worry, that's not the scary one. The scary one is gonna be in 7-6. I think it's 7-6 anyway.
Gonna have to be a little considerate of Ku's health coming soon. Oh, jeez. Now, the thing about DDD that I'm going to be attempting, depending on the circumstances, is I will likely be using Stone, provided that I can afford it. See, the thing about DDD is that, yes, the proper strat for top time, especially for the world record holder, which, remind me of the name. I literally was watching the video not too long ago, but I don't have a footnote to remind me.
I'm pretty sure it is still Reiner, but I will double check that to make sure.
Thank you. It was only 26 days ago, the current world record for any percent anyway. Alright, so we're going through yet another... And this is the nice part about the Dark Castle levels, is that some of them do have the copy ability assortment.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's, as of last month, it's actually Laugh who, has the world record,
right.
by just a little bit.
Up or down, I forget. Actually, no, I don't think it makes a difference. Nope, it did make a difference.
It's top for this one, and I think it's bottom when the next time it comes up.
Right. Geez. But yeah, classic example of going into a room and... Ooh! You know what? We got ourselves Choo-Choo here. Nice.
Ooh, we actually got Gooey Girl. Nice.
Gooey Girl?
That's a 1 in 8. That's a 1 in 8 chance, by the way.
I'd say that's a little bit of a blessing to this run, if any. Alright.
1 in 8 chance, and if it's if it's chance of being any of the animal friends, effectively it's a 1 in 24 chance.
There we go.
That's a very good master frame.
Yep. Oh.
By the way, shoutouts to the Dreamland 2 DX ROM hack mod for this game. Because it actually does like a Game Boy Color styled version of it, and it does actually make that enemy green.
Oh, that's cool. I can appreciate that. No!
It's actually a really neat mod. I definitely suggest trying it out at some point, because it also does add it has a couple of features as well, one of those being the option to turn off the Animal Buddy music if you want.
Oh, that's perfect.
So like if you're listening to this, you're like, wow, I cannot stand 2's theme. You can actually turn it off.
That's perfect. I'm glad to hear this. I was actually curious if somebody's already done that. Yeah, no, that answers my question.
By the way, be very careful here, because there are propellers on the downward path.
Ah! Jeez! I should have seen that one coming, folks. I should have. You know what?
If you want the easy way to this, it is bottom top, bottom top.
Bottom top, bottom top. Pour a couple salutes out for Koo there. He did not deserve that at all. I'm gonna try Needle on this one. I don't know.
Actually, as long as you're careful, Needle should be pretty good here.
Except for that one.
Yeah, except for that.
Are you joking me? Come on!
We love classic Kirby and stuff like that. Just being just a normal thing that can happen.
Yeah, I do not miss that feature at all from my days of Nightmare and Dreamland.
Don't worry.
Also, shout out to the fact that I opened up the can of bubbly, and the thing kind of did a little mini explosion on me. Ah! You know what? That's fine. We'll accept that. I've got 5 lives anyway. This is going absolutely chaotic.
I have done that more times than I care to admit in general. So I'm not laughing at you. I am laughing at the
misfortune.
The
yeah. I fully understand that. I really do.
It is a laugh of I understand this pain and I feel for you.
All right. I imagine we're getting. If we're
we are
already
not too far from the end. But...
Yeah, but like, how far from the estimate are we?
Right now. Let me look again. We're about an hour in, but honestly, we're not that far off. We're already in 7-4.
Yeah, once we've taken care of the rest of the levels, it should be smooth sailing from here. It's a little unfortunate because I was hoping to complete it with an estimate, but like, there were some really unfortunate happenings throughout the entire run that honestly I'll just take it for what it is. And as long as I can finish the run in general, I'm more than happy with that. Honestly, again, this was just a fun run to learn. I'm grateful for the experience. And like I said, I do plan on trying this some more, so yeah.
By the way, shout out to this one's name. This mini boss is called YU. Shout out to our community who has, we have had one that has made the joke, why you always lying?
Why you always lying? I love it. I would also probably give a shout out to Sayu Synchronicity, because that's a VTuber, and the community calls her YU sometimes, so yeah, I think that's fitting. Oh jeez, that was a little close for comfort. I mean, really, it's only 2 HP left right now, but even then, I didn't want to lose Cutter. Oh wait, what am I saying? Of course there's a power-up lobby here. Should I...
Cutter's not in here, though. I would just hold on to Cutter.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go ahead and
honestly, worst case, you can always go into 7-4 and just did that, like, right at the start.
Right. Bottom. Right.
I'm sorry, yes, I was wrong. It was top for both of them.
Well, that
is on me. That is on me for having like a very minor, just kind of like for moment.
Hi, Kine. It is possible, by the way, to get those items. It's just you gotta figure out how to do that.
You just did it from the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta be careful of those Scarfies, because you notice that they do explode, so those will damage you. There's fun fact about this mini-boss, actually. So it makes its debut here, but it's not until one of the later modern Kirby games that it did make its reappearance.
Yeah, they brought it back for the 3DS things.
That's right. Also, I didn't mean to get Stone Kirby right there, but you know what? Whatever. It's like you said, I'll just... If I gotta pick it up again, I will. Alright. 6. Here we go.
Yeah, just remember... Top, bottom, middle, bottom.
Top, bottom, middle, bottom.
As long as you remember that for this stage, you will be fine.
Alright, top, bottom, middle, bottom. I'll start... You know what? I'll start reciting that to myself! Okay. I was like, yeah. Once you're caught in the top, bottom, middle, bottom. Sorry, gotta focus right now. Go ahead and read some announcements or say some commentary if you wish while I'm figuring this out.
Yeah, so the big damage of Dark Castle is stages 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6 are symmetrical. And they, you effectively go through 4 through 6 in the inverse of the first 3. So whatever you did for those is applies here. So that's why it's top, bottom, middle, bottom. Because you're just going through the same Elder Scroller from 7-3, but now you're doing it in reverse. And then take some point. You can also do top, bottom, and like actually do it in proper reverse, but the fun one is doing the middle.
Oh, you're joking me. Well, I guess that makes sense considering I had a perfect fight in the last time I had to do this, but yeah. Oh,
yeah, it also doesn't help that Stitch is way faster about putting the spikes back out. So it actually might be faster to just not use stone.
Alright, fair enough. At least I got a double on standby. Alright, just gotta wait. Nice. I'll just get the power up, but like, it'll only be for a brief moment anyway, because like, yeah, we got ourselves a stage that actually breaks from the repeating mold, and this time around we're gonna have some power-ups coming up. And if I recall correctly, the first one we're gonna want is stone, right?
Actually, for any percent, you don't care about this puzzle at all.
Oh.
That is only for best ending, because it does give you a rainbow drop. Fun fact though, if you have Kind and Spark, the game tells you the actual pattern that you need.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, actually.
Yeah, the light bulb reveals it. But if you did care about it, it is Firestone, Needle, Ice Cutter.
I could just go this way anyhow, because I did pick up the burning one, so that'll be okay. Oops, that's not okay on the other hand. Yeah, now I'll get my stone here, and hopefully we're gonna be a lot more hunky-dory for the rest of the run.
Just remember, move as soon as you get into the final room, because Junker Shoot will land on top of you.
Yep.
Oh, also, shout out to this room. This room is mean.
Ah, man. I would.
Yeah, it's all good.
I would soft reset, but I really don't think that's,
No, it's not worth it here.
Alright, so now we get to actually fight this thing normally. And that's funny because we do use its own sandals against it, so prepare to see one of the funkiest looking Kirby fights in your eyes have ever darn seen.
But I know these are very Japanese style sandals, but all I can think of now is like any number. All I can think of now is like I've seen. You've seen probably like certain Joes with like chanclas and stuff.
Chanclas. Alright. Yeah, so I'm just gonna 7-4, got it. And with that, let's go ahead and pick up wait, oh, is it gonna be Cutter? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you're on like past it.
I thought I was getting stone again. Alright, well, we're just gonna play it safe, yeah.
Also, you know, down in the bottom when you first go in.
Yeah?
Like, go into the stage.
Oh.
No, go into the boss stage, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
The bottom in here.
Oh! Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that very convenient little extra bit of health if you ever need it.
Alright, I'm gonna focus on this one.
Yep, so Vortex time will be on the final hit for DDD. That will take a little bit. Now, there are a few ways you know about this fight. There is Cutter, which is our safest way of doing it, and Cutter is actually very reliable damage. There is also doing this with Stone and Needle. Stone is actually the overall best ability for damage, but it is very difficult to use, as we have already shown before, and Needle is kind of hard for roughly the same reasons, except you have a little bit better range.
One thing about this DDD fight, by the way, is that he has what I like to call his pissed off phase, and he becomes pretty hard to handle in that case. So.
Yeah, he very much has Andy slash Enrage, and he's about to go into it.
Alright, and... Oh, it's fine, I can finish him off. Time! Let's go. We at least finished the run, and I am happy about that.
Honestly, still pretty good considering, especially since I know things have definitely been a little rough for you in being able to practice this one as much.
Yeah, it happens. Still, I'm just happy to do what I can, you know? And all things considered, this is still a fun experience. I definitely recommend y'all try this, and it is available on the Game Boy app for Nintendo Switch. And all you really need to do to get that is a basic Nintendo Switch membership, which is like pretty affordable, all things considered, and not the worst way to be able to play some retro games. You can also, if you happen to have access to a Wii and preload those games onto there, that's viable too. Or you could also get the Kirby's special anniversary collection. That's also a good way to do it as well.
Good luck finding that disc these days for any reasonable price, though. They are climbing a little bit.
I can imagine.
But yeah, real quick, where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me here on Twitch at TempestMask1000, same for my YouTube channel. Of course, it's been a little bit since I've consistently streamed or did any kind of content, but like, if you want to follow me, I appreciate it. I usually treat speedrunning and streaming as a hobby, but also as a nice little creative outlet, so any faces that want to come say hi, I don't bite. I very much appreciate your company. You can also follow my socials. I'm Tempest Mask on Blue Sky. It's Tempest Steve on Twitter. And you can also find me on Instagram, DJ_Steve_C. Oh, I forgot that the anglerfish is called Sweet Stuff. That's right.
There were certainly some names.
All right, and Soul, thank you very much for submitting this game. This was it was great to coordinate with you on this one. Truly.
Yeah, let us say, I wish you had been able to put a little more time than you were able to, but stuff happens. And you still did really well, honestly.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, keep supporting for community and Speedromizer community. Hope to see you in the near future. Until then, ciao, Michi.
Alright, GG's legitimate Tempest for that run. I'm glad to learn I'm glad to relearn the objective for Dreamland 2. Awful Subnautica of it. But really though, that was a very good run. I am proud of it regardless. But anyways, we're gonna take a few minutes as we start getting things ready for the next run. So please take a break yourselves if you need it. Take this moment to get some water and hydrate, get a snack. Please take care of yourselves. We will be back momentarily after a few minutes, and then we will in the meantime we'll have things going on for the next run, so don't go anywhere. welcome back to Speedromizer community. We are back from our ad break. I hope you took this moment to take care of yourselves as well. Again, GG's to that run. And if you're curious of what this is Speedromizer, the charity marathon with a twist, where what you submit is not what you run. Where we shuffle the runs across every runner. They are then given 90 days to learn their new speed game. If that sounds like a fun time, go to speedromizer.live/discord. And with that, that is the end of my hosting shift and the end of pretty much my hosting entirely for this event. So let me thank y'all for having me. I have done a bunch. Like, I've been in the hosting seat, I've been in the comm seat, I've been in the weeds in the weeds behind the scenes, and probably do a little bit more of that soon. But in the meantime, I'm gonna leave you in the very capable hands of Rain of Dawn. Let me double check the thing because I want to make sure I get this correct. Cool. All right. Like I said, I'm gonna leave you in the hands of Rain of Dawn. I know they're gonna do great for the rest of this. So let's see the rest of this night through.
Job. I am currently holding on. I don't know if anyone can hear this. Hey, I'm told that whatever our technical difficulty was has been dealt with. So I want to say once again, hello, my name is Ringadon. I'm at twitch.tv/RingadonBlue. I plan to resume my normal streaming schedule soon. I had to move though, so that kind of took priority. You are watching Speedromizer, the speedrunning marathon with a twist, where what you submit is not what you run. And we are raising money for QMUNITY. QMUNITY is British Columbia's queer, trans, and true spirit resource center, providing a safe space for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual folks and their allies. They improve the lives of their communities and provide them with support through an array of programs and services, like its youth, seniors, and older adults, counseling, employment, and informational and referral programming and services. They help connect folks through volunteer opportunities and peer support groups. QMUNITY also provides education services and queer inclusivity training through publications, one-on-one consultations, and interactive workshops. QMUNITY has helped over 13,000 people who sought help in 2022. They continue to meet community demand for low-barrier, queer-competent services equipped to support those navigating sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expressions across all age groups in British Columbia. Their Information Referral Service Program, or Q-Desk, continues to act as a beating heart for information and referral for anyone in British Columbia seeking information, resources, and support related to two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual areas of information, and offers resources and service providers as well. That is the awesome charity for which we are raising money. You can donate at Tiltify, or not Tiltify, sorry, we fundraise on Tiltify, but you can go to speedromizer.live/donate, and that'll take you to where you need to be. I don't believe we have any more. Looks like we still have a Say Blank to Disco poll. I don't know if that should still be open or not. If it should be, then we can still decide whether it's going to be yes or no, and it's very close. So, however.